It's a Popemobile? Yes. Does it run? Yes. Can I drive it? Hi, welcome back to Car Stories. I'm Paul Bryan with another story. We're in Milan at the Alfa Romeo headquarters. Over my time with Alfa Romeo, I used to speak Spanish, and I spoke Spanish pretty darn well, actually. But when I went to work for Alfa, the Spanish and the Italian were close enough that I would get confused. And because of the time difference, I would get these phone calls when I was in the States, where I was getting up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and everybody was all fresh and all espressoed up in Milan. And I wasn't able to follow all that well. But when I was at a physical meeting at the office in Milan, I did pretty darn well. However, there were some meetings that were special meetings where they were just going to be blazing along. My Italian just wasn't good enough to be able to deal with that. So I would find different things to do when those meetings would come along. Well, the way the office was set up in Milan, there was the building and a big courtyard. There was our office. Then there was a big courtyard, and right on the other side of the courtyard was the Alfa Romeo Museum, which if you're ever in Milan, you gotta go see it. Museo Storico di Alfa Romeo is truly one of the great treasures of automotive art in the world. I go out roaming around, and this particular morning, I went roaming around and I moseyed into the museum, and my old friend Dr. Scandolaro was there. He was the curator of the museum. And he and I got along pretty darn well, and my comprehension with him was probably about 75%, maybe a little bit better. So I'm moseying around, not in the public part of the museum, but down in the restoration shops where the sausage is made down there. And amidst all of these Alfa Romeos is this Fiat 131, but it was all amped up and it had glass on it and all kinds of other stuff hung on it. And I went, what in the hell is that? And so I went to Scandolaro and said, "Chiaro la macchina, what's that car?" "Ah, questa è la macchina di Papa." La macchina di Papa? Papa, the Pope? Sì, il Papa, the Vatican. It's a Popemobile? Yes. Does it run? Yes. Can I drive it? Yes. Hot damn, I'm going to drive a Popemobile. So, sure enough, I mean, there wasn't a key. Pope doesn't need a key. He's got people for that. So I get out of the Popemobile. This thing had to weigh, I'm guessing, an easy 6,000 pounds from the way they had it. And it might have crawled along at about 8 or 10 miles an hour at full chat. But nevertheless, it did run. And so I got it out of the restoration shop, drove it out the door there, and drove up into the courtyard, which is where the conference room in my office was. All the PR offices and the race guys and everybody else, they would look out onto this courtyard. So all of a sudden, they're having this meeting here, and around the corner, here comes Paolo. I'm coming out, and I'm blessing everyone from the Popemobile, driving along. And they all said, we'd never seen anybody actually drive the Popemobile, and somehow we're not surprised that you were the first one to con Scandolaro out of a drive in it. So of all of the cars that I've been able to drive in my career, I'd have to put that in one of the top 3 or 4 of the strangest cars I've ever driven. And I didn't even get spanked by the Pope on that, or by any nuns for driving the Popemobile, for that matter. So nevertheless, that is the story of the Popemobile. And I defy anyone to tell me that they've driven a Popemobile. You can drive all the 458 Italias, all the LaFerraris you want, every 158 you can think of. There's only one Popemobile there, and I got to drive. So I hope you enjoyed the Popemobile story.